I'm Beccy Weeks, I'm the CTO here at the Citation Group. I think when I first joined we were a business that had Citation and Citation ISO, so two brands. Now we're about 16 brands I think, and we've acquired probably 20 to 30 businesses in the time that I've been here, so we've grown really quickly. We're really focused on making businesses better, so both not just in the UK where we've kind of grown up, but also into Australia and Canada most recently. We very much focus on risk management, compliance, legislation and regulation type services for these businesses. And we want our clients to focus on the things that they do best, so take away kind of the day-to-day worry about regulation and legislation, so they can really focus on how they want to operate and how they want to work. Historically, I think we've seen in our industry our competition being very kind of risk averse and sort of maybe not scaring people, scaring clients, but being a bit more concerned about risk. We like to not be kind of cavalier, but we embrace risk and make sure that our clients understand where it's acceptable to think about risk and where it's acceptable to kind of really be risk averse. And that's served us really well. We want to make sure that we're a one-stop business hub from a small and medium business perspective, so we can offer lots of different services. Over recent years, we've focused really on HR and health and safety and certification, but more recently we've been starting to acquire businesses in the e-learning space. We've bought an amazing e-learning provider called iHasco, and we've also recently acquired a care skills business, so looking at how we improve that e-learning content for care, which is one of our core sectors. We've also got into areas such as time and attendance, so very much in that HR space, as well as employment screening and various things, to help a client and go from end to end in terms of their business journey. So yeah, it's been really exciting. We've recently, probably in the last 12, 18 months or so, rebranded. So thinking really much about how we become a real family of brands and look and feel the same and consistent, rather than kind of being a bit of a shopping mall, which maybe we'd have been historically. So it's been a really exciting journey for us, and one that we hope to continue. We've had a number of engineering partners in the business that were incumbents when I first joined, and they've served us really well up until kind of the point in our growth journey that we're now in. And one of the things that we were really keen to do is find a partner that had real experience in delivering quality, ongoing quality, and somebody that could, take our ideas, designs, and the things that we were thinking through and really start to bring them to life from a technical perspective. We're really focusing on being a product and engineering type business, I suppose, making sure that we deliver products that our clients can use with ease and are really intuitive. We're very much a service-led business that had technology, and our technology underpinned our service. As we move forward into kind of the next era of investment and where we're at, we're very much thinking about ourselves more of a technology type business, and I think that our service supports then the technology rather than maybe being the other way around as we've been historically. And that's brought with it more rigour in terms of what we need from an engineering partner. So in the past we've kind of maybe not looked at metrics at the same level that we do now, really understand the telemetry around the teams, really starting to understand how we build teams with quality and autonomy. So that's really key for us moving forward. And when we met Godel, we felt that that you guys would be a great partner for us to work alongside us. Headquartered in Manchester, we're in the northwest as well. That always makes a difference for us to have somebody local that we can catch up with. That's been great. We spent quite a lot of time looking at a partner that could help us architecturally as well as from a design perspective. And we felt that at times when we're making some tough choices around how we bring our technology together from a group perspective to aid some of our, our cross-sell efforts and really start to, give our clients more services that can really help them. We needed somebody that could help us to bring that together. And I think working with Godel, we've really done that. So we've really looked at kind of working with our own internal teams, architecturally what that should be. How do we design these things? How do we make sure that the user experience flows neatly? We've spent a huge amount of time working on those products. And as we come up with more products and look at how we create value within our business, we look to expand the team and continue to invest and evolve. We first started working with Godel in our food alert business into an audit tool. Historically, we had an audit tool, but it had some challenges in terms of scale and performance, and we're really keen to make sure that we build things once and we build things the best that they can be. So within the food alert business, which are in health and safety, we felt that if we build that product right for audit within the health and safety and food on the food side, we'd be able to leverage that product elsewhere, so into construction and various other areas that we focus on. So So bringing the team in to start with and really starting to build that product out has made a real difference for us and gave us a clear understanding of the tech leads that were at Godel and the quality that we had and the strength in depth really, which has been amazing. Once we kind of brought that team in, we started to say, well, what other teams does it make sense to work alongside? So as an example, we have got a single portal that we're plugging all of these tools and these products into. We said, right, how do you plug into that part? How do we then evolve that part so we can add, bring more teams in and start to bring more features and functionality into that mix? And we made a couple of acquisitions, and we were concerned in the very early days that we wouldn't be able to bring their clients across onto our existing tech stack because there might be some scalability or performance challenges, and we didn't want our clients experiencing those types of issues. So we spent the first kind of couple of months, I guess, working with the team to address what could address those issues and to make sure that we'd created some performance and scalability benchmarks so we knew when we potentially could run into a challenge again. So that was the first part of the work that we did with the team. But then we started to rebuild what the software that we had. So historically, maybe it wasn't built to the standards that we'd like to expect. There were some challenges in terms of security and various things. So we very much focused on addressing those and have addressed those. So that's been a real great experience for us. But then, like I say, also looking at how we can leverage that technology in different parts of the business. So food safety is probably not so similar to safety on a construction site, but the health and safety part of it still remains consistent. So real big focus there. We've also brought a team into our HR product most recently. So we're really keen that we build one HR product that across the entire group that's the best that it can be. So the team are very much focused on helping us do that right now, helping us integrate with chatbot, the latest and greatest chatbot tooling, and really thinking about how we can open this almost front door so a client can log in once and see any of our products. So that's been a real key part for us. And as we do more in Canada, we're moving our health and safety proposition over to Canada. So we're trying to replicate what we've got in the UK and the success we've had in the UK in different jurisdictions or different geographies. So the team have been absolutely helping with those sorts of things as well, which has been amazing. One of those teams is focusing on building a technology product from the ground up for us. And that's not an opportunity I've really had in terms of my career in the past. It's very rare that you get to build something completely greenfield and from the ground up. So bringing the team in to help us focus on a certification product in that space has been great. And working alongside other team members in different teams to bring all of the component parts together so we can accelerate our time to market. We've got some tight timelines. We're really starting to pushing to make sure that we can achieve that. So here at Citation, we're constantly striving to evolve. One of our core values is never settle, and we really do, I guess, embody that. We really, that's a real focus area for us. We have private equity investment, which leads us to, I guess, to focus on specific areas on a really regular basis. So it's all about value creation and how we deliver value to our investors and to our clients. We also make quite a lot of acquisitions, as I touched on earlier. So that's a constant evolution. How do we bring that acquisition into the Citation Group? How do we embody our culture into that acquisition? How do we integrate them? Do they kind of stay standalone almost, let's just say, and we use that product, or do we kind of take their client base almost and start to move them into the Citation product family? So yeah, constant evolution. We're keen to continue to grow. We're keen to be the best and the number one business in the UK, Australia and Canada in this area. Some of the biggest change that we've seen over recent years was when COVID landed. I know it impacted all sorts of businesses in very different ways. But some of I didn't know what furlough was. I don't think anybody had really heard of furlough at that point. So we had almost unprecedented volumes of calls from our clients trying to understand how they could navigate their way through the challenges of COVID. And that wasn't just from a HR perspective, but also in the health and safety space. So we did a huge amount of work really closely with the clients and made sure that if they were closing premises down, that they closed them down safely. When they reopened them, they were reopened safely. So a huge amount of change kind of came about from COVID. And things like face-to-face visits were less prominent, I suppose, during that period. And we've continued to sort of follow that same thrust as we've come out of COVID. So it's a little more acceptable now to not be on site all of the time and to visit our clients maybe less frequently face-to-face, but also make sure that we're delivering the same service so we're there for them. So that's brought about quite a shift and a change for us. And I guess most recently, everything that's going on with generative AI. So we've massively looked at how we can be more efficient within our business internally. So there are a number of areas that we're focusing on there. And we've also looked at how Gen AI can enhance our sales process in terms of identifying different types of prospects maybe than we used to in the past. Then also from my perspective in engineering, there's been a huge amount of change in engineering, and some of our investors have got very technology-driven product or portfolio companies and products, and just kind of getting insight into how they're evolving. The way in which they operate in the engineering space kind of has bled through into what we're doing as well. So we've been really keen to not just push our own folks, but also our partners to really start to understand and recognise how AI can help us to deliver more productivity gains. It's not about necessarily cutting costs, it's getting things out there and value more quickly, and that's been a key thrust for us over recent months and maybe a year or so. We like to see ourselves as one team rather than kind of, got a Godel team and a Citation team. So each of our teams, our engineering teams, will have a product owner. They're typically from Citation Group. They understand what we're trying to achieve, how we achieve it in terms of what the client demands are, and how, when we get feedback from clients, which ones are most important, how do we prioritise those? So they work really closely with the tech lead. We've also got our own engineering managers, so the tech leads, and then the teams will report to those engineering managers. And that helps us to bring consistency, the way in which we approach things, remaining very much using the same technology stacks where we can. I think when I joined, we maybe had 2 or 3 engineering teams in total. As I sit here today, we've probably got 10 to 12, so quite a big number, not just on, I guess, client-facing technology, but also internal business systems as well. So yeah, really starting to, I guess, work closely with the teams and understand how we can get all the tech leads together. How do we build community of practices for engineering, for testing, for analysis? So all these disparate teams, how do we get them talking to one another on a weekly basis? I think I made the mistake early on of thinking if we provided access to tools like Copilot and those sort of things that the tech leads and the teams would just start using them. That was didn't prove out to be reality, sadly. So we felt that we had to really work closely with the teams to show them how AI and how different approaches were being used in different teams to give them ideas and inspiration. And that's made a huge difference. Once we started to bring teams together more so and really, and say, this is what we're doing, this is what these teams are doing, it's really started to drive that sharing of knowledge and ideas. So yeah, we've done some really great things, which has been good. We've also written our own AI tool into our own coding assistant. We've got an AI team here that have been here for probably 6 months or so now that have been really focused on helping not just us but the wider business. So yeah, providing access to these things has made a real big difference. It's been great. How do we get our product owners to embrace the AI tool sets? How do they use them to create user stories, behavioural-driven development, identify acceptance criteria that can then flow into testing and into our engineering practices? We've created our own, I guess, AI maturity model for each of the engineering teams with a load of different items that they're assessed against and scored 1 to 5. So we really start to see that within the AI maturity stakes, it kind of really follows the software engineering maturity of that team. So some of our acquisitions, when we buy them, they'll be relatively, I guess, low revenue, low turnover versus Citation as a group. So they'll be right scaled for the kind of size of the business that they were when we acquired them. When we acquired them, we want to scale them up. We want to do a lot with them. So, making sure that we can sort of improve their engineering maturity, and then how that follows the AI maturity has been something that's really key for us. But no, we were definitely embracing AI across all areas of the engineering life cycle. It's been great. We've had some interesting challenges tracking the value of implementing AI. So we've looked at velocity, we've looked at the output per day, per man person within a team, and we've seen uptick in that velocity number. But then there's a load of other things that play into that as well. So it's hard to put a hard and fast number on it that's associated with velocity. So we've started to work with the teams and say, look, can you start to identify which, the AI contribution to each of the tickets and each of the individual items, and it's only something really simple like a percentage. So we've taken that, made sure that our velocity continues to increase, but then we've also taken making these AI contributions to work out the kind of the value, the actual pound note value that they've delivered for us. Not to save any cash per se, but just to make sure that we can demonstrate that we are actually generating productivity gains from this tooling. The investment that we're putting into it's actually paying back. So yeah, it's been a real key approach for us. What's in the future of Citation and Godel? So I think continued collaboration and continued working. As we build more products, as we acquire more products, are quite often helping us to grow those products and grow those client bases. So I think that's going to be key for us. And I think just generally, demonstrating the approaches in terms of AI and how we improve productivity is really well received, and we can see that we can continue to grow our teams and grow our product base. We're working with you guys, and I think it's a great partnership. So I think what 3 words that I use to describe Godel? I think pace, quality, and fun. They'd be my 3.